Let's talk about books, fan people. Let's talk about OTPs. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that maybe. Let's talk about books. Hey everyone, welcome to Books and Pajamas, because if you're like me, you fall asleep reading a book and you wake up to read the book or finish a book. So, I have recently finished the Match Trilogy. Yay. So, I'm going to give a brief description for people who haven't read the books yet. So basically, it is about a girl named Kasha Reyes who lives in this perfect society. She has everything matched for her. She has her love matched. She has like her work matched out for her. She doesn't have to make any decisions. And then something happens which changes the course of the game, and she no longer believes the society is perfect. If you like dysfunctional societies with a little bit of romance here and there, then this trilogy is definitely for you. So that's a little brief description for you guys who haven't read it, so I encourage you guys to go to the library or buy the books and read it, because I definitely enjoyed it. Now I'm gonna go in more depth, so this is where the spoilers happen. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! First, let's talk about who do we ship. So, in the first one, when she goes to her match banquet and she finds out that Xander, her best friend, is her match, I was just like, oh, this is super cute. I thought at first that it was just gonna be them. Turns out that there's another face when she opens up her microcard, and it's Kai. And so at first she's like nervous, but she finds out that it was a glitch and Kai would never be able to match because he's an aberration. And so I was like, oh, that's too bad. But I ship Kasha and Xander. And then she goes on this hiking thing over the summer, and she slowly falls in love with Kai because he's interesting and he teaches her how to write, and he's just very mysterious to her, and so she falls in love with him, and I thought that was like super cute, and so I was just like, oh, I like Kai too. So I was like, Xander, Kai. By like the second book, I was just like, I really want her with like Xander. But then like when she finds Kai and everything, it's just like a super cute moment, and I'm just like, okay Kai, that was super cute. So I was still like Kai, Xander, I don't know. And then when it was reached, that is when it got more complicated. There was a girl named Lay, there was a girl named Indy. Oh, also, I totally forgot. In the second book, Indy comes in too, and I was just like, Indy and Kai would kind of like be cute together, and so now I was just like, Indy and Kai, Kai and Kasha and Xander. So that was the three ships right there. And so the three ships continued in here, but now they added in Lay, and I was just like, oh, that's super cute with like Lay and Xander. So then I was just like, Lay and Xander, Kasha and Xander, Kasha and Kai, Kai and Indy. So it was just like, there was 4 ships that I was going for. Also in the second book, I forgot to mention that Indy did like Xander, but I was just like, you haven't even met him or anything. So it was just like, that was just like a little weird thing going on there. But yeah, it's just 4 ships, guys. love triangles are just always so complicated. I never know who to go for, and then when you add more characters in, it makes a love pentagon. Is that right? I don't know, I'm making stuff up, but yeah, there shouldn't just be a love triangle. There should be like love squares, love octagons, love whatever gons. Now throughout the book, when I was shipping Indy and Kai and Lei and Xander, I was just like, wow, they're probably just gonna end up like bailing on her and then just like fall for like the other girls. And I was just like, this is like super complicated. But then like towards the end, I was kind of like, Xander needs to like find someone else, because Kasha is kind of like, it's not that she doesn't love him, it's just that she doesn't choose him. And so I was like, okay, Xander needs to find happiness with someone else because Kasha is breaking his heart. And so I stopped the Xander and Kasha ship, and I was like, Xander and Lei, yes. And then something happens to Indy, so that broke my heart, and so I was just like, Kai and Kasha, that's what's left. And then everything was happy with my ships. So now let's talk about the society. In the first book, she starts to kind of rebel because she finds the 2 poems that are not part of the 100 poems that her grandfather kind of hid in her artifact. And then she also rebels by loving an aberration. And so in the last part of the book, when Kai is taken, she Crossed, she does whatever she can do to try and get to him. So there was like a little map in there. Let's see if I can scoot closer. Okay, so she kind of goes to the outer provinces because that's where Kai is, and she escapes like on a ship or something to get closer to him. And then they both, without knowing, they go to the carving, and so they find each other in the cannons. From there they kind of learn about like the rising, and so yeah, we get a little bit more about the rising, and then they end up joining it. And so it also turns out that Xander's in it as well. So basically there's like 3 main places where you kind of join. It's a society, it's the outer kind of like, I guess it's kind of like where the farmers are at, so it's kind of like the outer provinces, the cannons, and then there's also the outer lands or something, I don't know what it's called. It's like the outskirts of like the cannons. It's like beyond the cannons. It's like kind of where the enemy is at, and it's also where Xander and Lainey end up, and a few other people also end up there, like they want to go there, and so they kind of talk about that throughout like the 2nd and 3rd book, but mainly like the 3rd book. So yeah. So in Reach, we have the Physic, who is Xander, which is someone who like works with medicine. We have the pilot, who is Kai. The pilot, there's one extraordinary pilot who controls all, but Kai is just a pilot of 1 ship. And then we have sort of like the sorter, which is Kasha, because she's good at sorting things. And so all 3 of them work together to find a cure for this new virus that is going on in society. So at first, the Rising knew about this plague that was happening, but things go wrong when everybody starts getting still. And so Kai goes still, and so it's up to Kasha and Xander to kind of fix things, but then something happens to Xander where he gets in jail, and so then Kasha has to figure it out using her memories that she lost to find a cure, and then she tells Xander about it, who makes the cure, and then Kasha gives it to Kai, and then it works. And so then everything is happy once everyone gets the cure, but all they have to do is find the flower that they need for the cure. And so at the end, everyone is dancing, everyone chooses where they want to go, and everyone chooses who they want to be with. So it's a happy ending, and I really liked it. So tell me your thoughts and opinions on the Match trilogy, and don't forget to like and subscribe to me, where I will be doing more book reviews, and check out my other covers on songs on my YouTube channel. Thanks everyone.